Matthias Fernandes and how West Ham United are right to demand £80 million for him, and how West Ham United can make anything up to £200 million this coming summer in terms of transfers and the parachute payment from dropping down from the Premier League. But something has passed that. So I've deleted that video because West Ham United have just announced no more than about half an hour ago that David Sullivan has resigned from West Ham United. What a shock. You know, here's me for God knows how long, been banging on about how there's no chance that West Ham United, that David Sullivan would ever leave West Ham United, would ever step down. And lo and behold, David Sullivan has stepped down from his role as director of West Ham. I don't know what's going on in terms of what's going to happen to his shares. Maybe, just maybe, we found a buyer. Maybe, just maybe, Daniel Kretinsky will now take full control of the club. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But what a shock. It would have to happen when I'm on holiday, wouldn't it? So I can't properly prepare for this. But it's the news we've all been waiting for. We heard not long ago that Karen Brady had stepped away from her role at the club after leaving it in a disastrous state. I blame her as much as I blame Sullivan, if not more, for where we're at the moment, for being relegated. I blame her for the London Stadium. She's the one that pushed it. I blame her for a lot that's happened. But you got to blame David Sullivan as well for having allowed West Ham United to deteriorate into the mess that it's become. Look, you're all commenting. I wish I could comment, but I'm afraid I can't. I'm holding my phone. I'm by the beach. I'm not by the beach. Yes, I am by the beach. So I can't comment. So what unbelievable. Totally and utterly, I'm shocked, to be quite honest with you. I don't think I expected anything like this to happen, but there you go. David Sullivan's resigned. Now it leaves the football club in a bit of turmoil, because the transfer window will open in just over a week and a half's time. We now know, at the very least, that he's not going to have any involvement in the transfer window. There you go. There's small mercies for everything. Apparently, the statement that came out on the club website is regarding his personal circumstances with, the allegations, historic allegations, and apparently he's going to take time to fight against those. Good luck to him. Do what you want. So long as it's not under the name of West Ham United, we couldn't give a toss, Mr. Sullivan. You go and protect yourself the way you have to. At least you're not going to drag the football club into this. This is a new dawn. This really is a massive change for West Ham. Absolutely massive change. We don't know what's going to happen. I can only assume that the other directors will step up. And that obviously means Daniel Kretinsky is going to have to take quite a major step forward in running the club. Now, this makes sense because we heard in the boardroom that Sullivan didn't want to keep Nuno, and yet apparently Kretinsky did. And I poo-pooed that as well. I've got to hold my hand up when I'm wrong. I was convinced that Kretinsky had nothing to do with it, but maybe he has. What more do you say to this? I guess I'm going to read some of the comments if I can get to them. Yeah. What an amazing day from Kerry. Hello, mate. Paul, happy days. Robert, hi from me to you. Graham, Mr. Lindsay, how are you, mate? Great news. Marcus, Malkstar, let's go earthing mental. Let's go earthing mental. Anthony, hi to you, mate. Paul James, let's hope this is the start of us getting our club back. Pete, HTV, good afternoon to you. He stepped down because of the allegations due to come out in a panorama program. I believe that now more than I did 2 weeks ago, because this panorama program just never seems to see the light of day, but it is now potentially seeing the light of day. The Humpus message retracted. Shame, put your message back up. Philip, he stepped down from the chairman's role. He can keep his shareholdings. He doesn't have to sell though he is no longer chairman and a member of the board, which means, yeah, good point, mate. Thank you for correcting me on that. It means, yeah, he's got a share in the club, but he's not going to be involved in the running of the club. So, yeah, thank you for correcting me on that. Brendan Toher, good afternoon to you, mate. Well, still, guarantee that an element of the fan base will seek something new to vent their bile at, probably the next owner. What happens with Hammers United now? Maybe I might relent and ask Mr. Colborne to come back on the channel. You know my feelings about Hammers United. I fully appreciated what they did, and I think the vitriol that was aimed at me with regards to the protest, because I didn't want to boycott Brentford game, put me right off. But maybe I'll ask Mr. Colborne to come back on the channel, and we'll have a nice discussion. He's a genial guy. We can have a nice discussion as to what next with Hammers United and the protests. What else have we got here? The Humpies. It's too early for Kretinsky. Well, I did say in a video a couple of weeks ago, or maybe not even a couple of weeks ago, I did say in a recent video about Daniel Kretinsky. He's an interesting chap because when he took over Sparta Prague, he spent years not really doing anything at the club. He didn't really sort of invest in it. He's a boyhood fan of the club, etc., but never put much money behind it. And apparently, as the story goes, the fan base, the ultras, sort of questioned him. You know, asked him, "Well, what's your plan? Either do something or get out." And then all of a sudden, he started investing money to start winning league titles, and now he's promised to build them a stadium. Build them a stadium. Will Daniel Kretinsky build West Ham United a new stadium out in Essex? Of course he won't. What might happen though, is negotiations with the Mayor of London and the company that now runs the stadium and West Ham United. Maybe those conversations might now be a little more conducive, a little more genial as to what we can do with this football stadium. I think our way forward is to improve the football stadium, try to get out of this whole thing about, there has to be Olympics there. If we can get the stadium, those who run the stadium, those who own the stadium, we can convince them that they're better off putting the Olympics out, not Olympics, athletics elsewhere, Birmingham or whatever, and then allow us to convert stadium into a proper footballing stadium. Who knows? Now, I know a lot of people are saying you can't convert footballing stadium, but never say never. It'll probably be much cheaper to convert the current stadium into a footballing stadium than it would to go out and build a new one. Daniel Kretinsky may already have ideas. So that'd be interesting to see what happens there. Long overdue, Danny boy, I hope you're well. Fantastic news from Bonnie. Foxes, good afternoon. He still owns it though? He does. But the good thing is, he doesn't have a say in it. He's relinquished his say as to how it's run, Foxes. That can only be a good thing. Steve said hi. Hi to you, Steve. Aaron, I'm nervous. Me, I'd rather not know. John, happy days. Montana, good afternoon. Kretinsky is clueless. Would you take Levy? I hope Amanda comes in. Fingers crossed. Well, now you've got to think, why would Dave Sullivan now hold on to his shares? What would be the point? It's going to lose money, etc. So what would be the point of him holding on to the shares if he's not going to have a running interest in the club? He's done the damage. He's gone. Look, fair play to Hammers United. You did what you set out to do. As much as I, can always back the way your methods, Hammers United, hats off to you. You've managed to get rid of Brady, and now you've got rid of Sullivan as well. Who else we got here? Arch 8 Barley, good afternoon. I can't see it. He won't be involved in West Ham. It feels similar to believing that Marinakis would be involved after transferring to a trust and steal medals from a jail cell. Well, it's interesting. He says he's not going to be involved. He's relinquished his directorial duties. Let's see what happens. But listen, people, let's rejoice. Let's not worry about the negatives right now, because this is something I didn't see coming. There's absolutely no way on earth I thought David Sullivan would relinquish control at West Ham United. I could just about read this. Greg Charles, good afternoon. Sullivan has some publications can help you. I was talking to Aaron. Aaron, going to need his hidden stash. Kerry, good afternoon to you. Season ticket sales already starting to rise. Well, the interesting thing is, the reason why I'm even more surprised is that up until the other day, season ticket sales were up to about 65%, which, all things considered, it's pretty damn good going for West Ham United fans. Well done. You know, the fact that we are going to get behind this team, boy, am I excited about the new season now. Am I excited about what the season holds? No interference, look at the positives. No interference from David Sullivan in the transfer market. No backhanded deals that we know his mates, what they call Silky and the other guy seems to keep sort of Salthouse keep having. Silky and Salt, what are they going to do? They might end up running out of cash without David Sullivan helping them out in the transfer market. So no VAR, no David Sullivan involved. The squad, I honestly think I'm gonna put the video after. I did a video and I put it up, but I've taken it off already about Matthias Fernandes and why we should be demanding 80 million. Don't think we're going to get 80 million, but why we should be demanding 8 million and how we can make anything up to 200 million pounds in transfers and the parachute payments. So I'll put that up probably tonight, if not tomorrow, to allow this video to get some mileage. So it surprises me because we could all, you know what's going to happen. Oh, there's a thought. I didn't think of this before. You know what's going to happen now that Sullivan is drawn away from having to get involved in the business of West Ham. Yes, he'll keep his shares. He doesn't necessarily have to put his hand in his pocket in order to help out the financial situation. You know, we keep hearing from Kieran Maguire, you know, if the board put in £90 million, you know, it might sort of salvage West Ham's situation. But on the side, we're in a cash flow problem. But it looks like maybe Sullivan may not do that now. Who knows? Anyway, let's read your other comments. Steve, let me get back a little bit, up a bit. Ivan, what part of Cyprus still? I was in Paphos a few weeks ago. I'm in the south. I'm in the southeast side, called Paralimni, Protera. Beautiful out here, absolutely beautiful. He can't nick any more money. He never did. He never did. I know this whole thing about maybe some of the shady transfer deals, but you know, money never went into, not Sullivan fan, but money never went into Sullivan's pocket when it came to some of the stuff he did. But anyway, who cares? He's gone. Let's scroll down. Let's see who else we've got here. 8 Bar, I can't see. We've done that one. Greg Sullivan, yeah, done that one. Carey, done that one. Ross, will he put one of his own up? Will he put one of his own up? I didn't understand that, so you're going to have to explain what you mean by that, mate. Who else have got? I'm feeling good. Andy, thank you very much, mate. It's beautiful out here. I'm getting a nice tan. We're out here till Wednesday, making the most of it. Of course, the reason why we're out here is because me and the other half got married last Friday. Well, 10 years, I guess, was long enough to leave her hanging on. And I'm delighted. A lot of friends came out from London and other parts of the world to celebrate with us. And here I am now. They've all gone. My daughter's gone. All my friends are gone. Me and the other half are on our own. And now we're really enjoying ourselves. So there you go. Who else have we got here? Postacoglu, Ivan. No. Nuno's okay for me. Nuno's okay for me. Bring Amanda and her investors, Greg. Well, this is what I'm waiting for now. Let's see what happens next, because this is the next part of the drama, isn't it? What will happen next with David Sullivan's shares? Will he sell up completely or will he hang on to them? Steve, now let's concentrate on getting our Premier League status back. Good afternoon to you, Harry. I hope you're well. Mountstar, saying hello to everyone. Mojo, Stan, you can't nick any more money. I've mentioned that. Ivan, what I've done that. Mark, a proper transfer window, just in that, a proper transfer window. There's a lot to look forward to in this this summer now. Sullivan gone, no VAR, no meddling around with transfers, etc. Could it be the dawn of a new era? Let's see what happens here. Devon, Dave, good afternoon. What a great day. Well, it's lovely here. Is it raining in London? Steve, maybe now the stadium will be upgraded and the days of doing everything on the cheap goes. Mojo, no more Sullivan. Salthouse meddling, absolutely. Mark, 60,000 will be there now. Well, already we've had a 65% renewal rate. I agree with you. I think now, Mark, we're going to see renewals go through the roof. Mark, I don't care. I'm not going to get into the politics of why he's gone. You know, I'll leave that for others. You know, if he's a wrong one, he'll get done. Simple as that. Gazza, I'm enjoying it even more now. Marky, Stel, I'm lying on the beach, phone going mental. Thought it was work, so ignored it. So glad I looked. Best day ever. Mark, hope his kids are not involved. Or where did that go? I'm lying on the beach. Hope his kids are not involved. No, I don't think they are. Oh, you mean involved in running the club? Good point. Good point. He could do that. He may step away, but what about the Sullivan boys? That's a very good point. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens next. It really, really is. It's going to be intriguing to see what happens next. He could do it. He might give one finger up at us and go, I'm not here, but my boys will be, and I'll be telling them what to do. That could happen, couldn't it? So that's interesting. Thank you, Kerry. Much appreciated. Thank you, Ivan. Dark Star, bloody excellent. Let's hope Kretinsky buys him out, pays off the debt, and we keep as many players as we can, get back up to the Premier League. Paul James, thank you, mate. Much appreciated. Gary, thank you, mate. Appreciated. Liberation Day from Paul. Steve, fantastic. Mojo, thank you, mate. Appreciated. Harry, you shouldn't have done that, mate. I really appreciate it. I never asked for money, but that $9.99 will buy me and the missus a couple of beers on the beach. So thank you very much, Harry. Kretinsky from Anthony and Nuno wants to sit down with the players and ask them all to stay and get us back into the Premier League. First time of asking. Listen, people. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. What an amazing day it is for West Ham United fans. David Sullivan has gone. David Sullivan, no, let me rephrase. David Sullivan has stepped back. We don't know what's going to happen with his we know he's not going to be part of the dealing of the club now. He's stepping back from all his directorial duties. Hammers United have done their job. What next for Hammers United? I think it's going to be interesting to find out what they want to do. They want him. Is it enough for him to step back, or do they want him to completely sell up and go? If he steps back and not get involved, like someone said about the Nottingham Forest owner, you can sort of step back and put it in shares or holdings or whatever, but you still have an influence, don't you? Will Sullivan be involved, or will he completely move away from West Ham's day-to-day dealings? Oliver, silver lining to the season at least. Dark Star, thank you very much, mate. This is great, people. We're all having a party in East London. The Humpists. The worst case scenario is Sullivan sitting on his shares and not investing a penny more and just waiting for a buyer. Could be. That could exactly, that could happen. I don't think Sullivan will sell whilst we're in the Championship. Will Sullivan sell or come back if we go back into the Premier League at first time of asking? It's possible. The fact that he's stepping away is a massive, massive bonus for West Ham, but there are a lot of questions to answer. There's a lot of things that have got to be sorted out. Now, we know the person that took over from Karen Brady, his name is completely gone, Varane. He's still in place, so he'll be sort of overseeing things. But we need now to put an infrastructure in place. We need that director of football. If we're going to get a director of football, that needs to happen immediately. We need to decide. I'm sure that West Ham, I'm sure that the other directors, probably Kretinsky more than anything, and Nuno, would have sat down and talked about the squad and said, where do we want to go from here? What is it we want to do at this moment in time? What players do we want to keep? What players do we want to sell? And I think they've got a list of players that they want to keep. It depends now on what cash input there's going to be from the directors in order to determine who we need to sell. A lot of talk about a lot of players going, but like I said earlier on in this show, it won't surprise me if we do not sell as many players as everyone thinks. I've seen stories about having to get rid of a dozen or so players, but I've already said I think that's going to be the case. Yeah, Matthias Fernandes may go. May not now, but Matthias Fernandes may go. 60, 65 million. Some of them may go. 40 million. A number of other players, Todibo and various others, we can accumulate another 30, 40 million amongst, peripheral players who have been on loan, who haven't been part of the squad last season, may all go. And then the first parachute payment that we get for the season doesn't come all at once, but over the course of next season, we're going to get up to £55 million in parachute payments. All of a sudden, you've got a £200 million cash injection into the club, which will wipe out most of the debt that we got, and then see what happens. So, and Sullivan won't be involved in any of that. Who else we got here? Greg. Sullivan is unlikely to sell his shares till we're back in the Premier League. Right now, they're not worth the money he will want. I agree with that. Totally agree. Kerry, Sullivan shares get diluted when DK puts money in. It depends on whether he buys. Yeah, they all get diluted, but that's if DK does put money in, dilute all the value of all the other shares. Yes, you're correct there. Sullivan doesn't match the investment. His shares become less value. Same with the Gold Famine shares. Mark, hope this is not purely cosmetic, and he returns if he's cleared of all charges. I guess time will tell. But the news is David Sullivan has stepped back from his role as director of West Ham United and West Ham United Holdings, which means he has no input into how the club is run from this moment on until he apparently clears his name. If he doesn't clear his name, then he's got more things to worry about than running a football club. And yes, someone who said it to me, and thank you for correcting me, he still holds his shares unless someone comes in to buy them. But I now think, one of the things I was always told by a close mate who knows how things are going on at West Ham United in the background. One thing I was always told was investors won't invest in West Ham because of David Sullivan, because of his reputation. David Sullivan has now stepped back and looking for an investor. I think the investors may come forward. Amanda Stavely, amongst many, may certainly now consider this is our opportunity. Yes, okay, they'll be buying into a championship club, but a championship club that will have the infrastructure, should have the infrastructure to get back into the Premier League straight away. So this news is not only good for the West Ham fans, but this news must be music to the ears of investors who want to invest in West Ham, who want to invest in let me rephrase, who want to invest in a football club that's got potential, that's London-based, that's got a big fan base. West Ham United people, now they can get shares. If they can convince Sullivan to sell, they can get his shares for a lot lower than they were, because we've got the potential to come back. We've got the potential to come back. What else we've got here? Harry Krasinski will need to relinquish control on Prague if he wants to take control of us. He does and he doesn't. The only problem with that, you look at Marinakis, who owns 3 football clubs. He owns Olympiacos, Nottingham Forest, and another one, I think it's a Spanish or a Portuguese club, I can't remember. But the only time you've got to relinquish or look at the way you manage your shares is if both football clubs you own are in the same European competition. Well, there's no chance of us being in Europe next season, so that ain't going to happen. So at this moment in time, Kretinsky doesn't have to relinquish anything at his current club, Sparta Prague. He can carry on so long as we are kept separate in European competitions. He can carry on and run both clubs completely separately because there's no conflict of interest. It's only if we both end up in the same European competition. And of course, when we win the FA Cup and come up and be promoted next season, we might well have a conflict of interest. And that's for Daniel Kretinsky to worry about then. There you go, delusion of grandeur. I get a little positive news and all of a sudden I'm talking about promotion and winning the FA Cup. But why not? It's a happy day. The sun's shining. Don't know about you, but the sun's shining for me. So why not indeed? Right, people, I've done half an hour of gibberish, 24 minutes of gibberish. But thank you for joining me without any sort of advance warning. But big news. It's big news. It's fantastically big news. David Sullivan has stepped back from his directorship of West Ham United and West Ham United Holdings. As someone's corrected me in the chat, he still owns the shares, and let's see what happens to those. But in terms of running this football club, things have changed, and they will change immediately. And what good timing, Mr. Sullivan, a week and a half before the transfer window opens. Now, there's no confusion over who is going to be responsible. I now predict that we're going to get a director of football or technical director announced within the coming days. Happy days. I hope you have a good day. What is it today? Saturday, is it? I hope you have a good weekend. I'll be back again. I've done a video. I took it off YouTube channel, but do look out for that when it comes up. I'll either put it on tonight or I'll put it on tomorrow. All about Matthias Fernandes. Has he handed in the transfer request? Why is it that everyone is saying that Fernandes wants Man United and will only go to Man United? Does that mean he's handed in the transfer request? Why we're right to hold out for £80 million, even though I don't think we'll get it, but why our financial situation might get a massive boost because we could earn up to £200 million in a combination of transfers and parachute payments. Thank you for watching. Thank you for let's do a couple more comments before I go. Mark, good afternoon to you. Kretinsky, some more reliable business contact. Hopefully move on now. James, it's a beautiful morning here in the States for West Ham fans. Great news to wake up to. Harry, cheers, much appreciated. Paul, lock up, throw his partner, Baroness Brady, in there with him. Mango, can't wait for the panorama. I don't know, will it come out? Who knows? Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I will see you all very soon.